Hi, my name is Dorian, and this is You, Me, and the Industry. A show that unfortunately still isn't on vinyl, but this episode I have an incredible guest that makes up for it. With me today is Kevin Schulz, the founder of Black Screen Records, a record label that specializes in the releases of video game soundtracks on vinyl. We talk about how he started his own label, his love for Star Wars, what a typical day for him looks like, the process of approving a test pressing, and we both share stories about how we love to get our packages from the customs office. It's just so much fun. Here we go. Hello everyone and welcome to the show. Today I have the great pleasure to be joined by the founder of Black Screen Records. Black Screen Records is a record label that primarily focuses on the releases of video game soundtracks. And believe me, they have been busy over the last couple of years. They have released over 40 soundtracks under their umbrella. Also, they have helped to distribute and release a magazine, and for some reason they also released a free vinyl. That's nuts, right? With me today, Kevin Schulz. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Hey, Dorian, thanks for inviting me to the show. I'm very excited to be here today and talk to you about stuff, probably vinyl and games.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I'm really excited because, doing research, and we've also met each other a couple of times on conventions. And I'm really excited to talk to you because I think you're a real go-getter, like a real self-starter. And just listening and checking out the things you've done with Black Screen Records, I've been really stunned, to be precise. Really stunned and surprised.
Thank you very much. That's good to hear. Yeah, we've been around for over 5 years now, and it has been alright. Started this thing when I was still at university and had a totally different job. Not totally, worked in the music industry. Yeah, and it's our 5th year now, and I still can't believe that we are still doing all this stuff.
I'm gonna go into the details later with the questions about the timeline because, I agree, it's a real interesting timeline you've got here. But as it is courtesy with You, Me, and the Industry, it is courtesy that the guest is allowed to bring a topic to the show.
Oh, yeah.
So, Kevin, do you have a topic?
I have a topic, and it's Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah, it's great. I've also have a bunch of Star Wars related questions, so that's awesome. Yeah, so what is the general gist with Star Wars currently? So let's talk about the last trilogy. Are you a fan or are you just merely like a meh? I don't know.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan, I was actually reading a couple of articles today at work while waiting on stuff, and I think in general people are not really happy with the sequel trilogy. But I am, because everything that involves lightsabers and the Force and bounty hunters and planets is something that I absolutely adore. So, I was a bit scared about the new trilogy when it came out, like when it all started 6 or 7 years ago, but I just love it. I love Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. You know, people hate this movie, but it's such a beautiful movie, and I like so many people are saying that there are like plot holes, but I don't see them. I mean, there are plot holes, but in every movie there are plot holes.
Right.
So. But I was reading an article about how the actors started to like defending the sequel trilogy, but on the other side are saying, I won't come back to Star Wars because I want to focus on different stuff. So, I wasn't sure what to think about this, because did Disney tell them to say positive things about the movie? And on the other hand, they're not like shooting, being different in more movies? Or do they really believe that these are great movies? But I don't know, man. These are just great movies, and every time I'm seeing them, I saw The Force Awakens like 10 times, and I recently rewatched all the movies with my girlfriend because she has never seen Star Wars before. And these are probably my favorite of the full, what do you say, Nintology?
I have no idea. I think they're just 9 movies now.
But Star Wars, I love it. What do you think about the sequel?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm a big believer that I think The Force Awakens is awesome. Like I think The Force Awakens is the perfect new start to a
Yeah.
trilogy. Last Jedi was a little bit iffy with some plot holes, but I think it's still a good movie. And I think Rise of Skywalker is better than Last Jedi. But
Oh.
yeah, this is even like one of the most yeah, like kill-worthy opinions on the internet, because I
Absolutely.
think everybody hates the Rise of Skywalker. But I think, I've recently talked to a friend of
Yeah.
mine, and I just said, I think Adam Driver is just not wasted, but he's like way too good of an actor for this movie. Like just the way he
Yeah.
plays it, it's so good. It's so good.
I mean, the movie was a bit rushed. It felt a bit rushed,
Yeah,
especially the
right.
beginning with. Can we do spoilers? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think everybody hates this movie
Okay.
anyway.
Like the Palpatine thing right at the beginning in the first 5 minutes or so was a bit rushed,
Right.
but I never thought they would bring back the Emperor for any future Star Wars films.
Yeah,
But
sure.
they did, and I was actually at Star Wars Celebration in Chicago when
Oh, wow.
they announced that Ian Mac. Oh, forgot his name.
Malcolm? Ian Malcolm,
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah, yeah. When
Yeah.
he, I was actually there when they showed the trailer for the first time, and
Oh,
then
wow,
you
yeah.
heard the laugh of the Emperor at the end of the trailer, and
Yeah,
Ian
yeah.
went on stage, and I was actually crying a bit because it was
Oh, wow.
such an
Yeah.
intense moment, standing there with like thousands of Star Wars fans and watching the trailer for the first time, and then you see Ian on
Yeah, yeah,
stage,
right.
and okay, they're bringing back the Emperor. Yeah, that was so special. And then I was a bit disappointed when I was at the theater and saw that the beginning super rushed and they didn't really
Yeah.
explain how the Emperor got back. But yeah, like I said, it's Star Wars. I just love it. I mean, the Fourth and the
Yeah.
Emperor and lightsabers. I love it.
Yeah, and also I've seen that you have a real controversial opinion on the Babu Frick versus Baby Yoda
Oh,
conversation.
yeah. I mean, Baby Yoda is cute, and I mean, I love Baby Yoda. I was actually talking about Baby Yoda with a friend the other day, and
Hmm.
isn't it just $1 million idea? Like Baby Yoda, imagine you're being John Favreau, and you go to I don't know Kathleen Kennedy,
Yeah.
and you're saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, I have an idea, but I need 10 million upfront, minimum guarantee." And this will change Star Wars forever. And she's like, Mom, I don't know, man. What can be better than Force Awakens? And then he's like, Baby Yoda.
Yeah, right. Also, like, kind of like, yeah, we have like this cool dude like Boba Fett. He looks like Boba Fett. He's not
Yeah,
really
yeah.
Boba Fett, but he's really cool looking, and he has like Baby
Yes, Baby
Yoda.
Yoda.
And they're like, all right, I'm
And
sold.
then we can release Baby Yoda merch like every day, every week when we
Right.
release a new episode. They're actually releasing new merchandise every week after the show. This is just insane, but it's so amazing. It's so,
Smart.
yeah, it's so smart. It's so smart.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, Babu Frick was great. I mean, when I saw the movie for the first time, I was laughing a lot about his jokes.
Yeah, right. He's very funny.
He's different than Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda is just cute, and Babu Frick is just cute, but the different kind of cute.
Yeah, great. That's a great opening, I think. And yeah, so we can jump now into the journey of how you started Black Screen Records,
Yeah.
and yeah, how you made the decision to just say, "Hey, you know what, just I'm gonna quit university and I'm just gonna I'm just gonna do my own label now."
Yeah. Okay. Where to start? Yeah, I was. How old am I now? 29. I was 24, I think, or 23 when I had this idea. At my parents' place, home. I just finished my traineeship at Cargo Records, which is a German distro and record label, and also broker for vinyl manufacturing. And I worked there in the vinyl manufacturing department. And I finished my traineeship. I thought it's a good idea to study something, so I studied media science and media law. And then, because I wanted to move out, because I was 23, I was looking for a part-time job. So my friend Benny, who runs Fleet Union, German music PR company, asked me if I want to join him because he needed a new PR manager. And I was working in the music industry and did some PR stuff before. So I said yes. And then I moved out and moved to Cologne from my hometown and went to university, always looking for new opportunities and new ideas and new things because I sometimes get bored real quick, which isn't always good but in this case, it was the best that could happen to me. I was playing Oddworld, New and Tasty, with a friend on my PS4, I think. And as a vinyl collector myself, I collect vinyl since I'm 18 because I never had a PC to illegally download music on Napster. So I always had to buy like physical media. And so I sent an email to the guys from Oddworld Inhabitants, and they pitched this idea, and they got back real quick and loved the idea and wanted to do a vinyl with me. So I had to start the label from scratch. I had my old colleagues at Cargo Records, and they helped me out to
get like a contract and everything, right?
Yeah. They helped me with distribution. I was talking to my old colleague about vinyl manufacturing. She's actually still doing the vinyl for me. And I mean, I just put up pre-orders for the Oddworld New and Tasty vinyl, and it sold quite well. I didn't expect it, to be honest. But with the money I made, I funded the next 5 releases or so. And then the whole thing started. And I was still working part-time at Fleet Union, doing my PR. And at night, I wrote all these emails and produced vinyl. And then 5 years later, or 4, I was talking to Benny from Fleet Union and told him I think I have to quit my job here, which I did full-time then, because I really want to focus on Black Screen Records now, because I think people are actually interested in listening to game soundtracks on vinyl. It only took me 5 years. And I'm doing this now for almost a year, and it's a COVID-19 year, and I'm still doing it, and we had our best year, 2020, of course, because it was the year I could really focus on doing other stuff and doing new releases and doing no distribution deals and everything. And it's now almost December, and I'm here talking to you about game soundtracks on vinyl, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and I also, from what I can tell, the Oddworld game has a special place in your heart because it's one of the games that you grew up with, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I was 5 or 6 or 7 when the original game came out, and I started playing video games at the age of 2 or 3. Because my parents are still pretty young, and they had all the consoles, and I played my first Tetris game when I was 2 or 3 on my mom's Game Boy back then. And I was playing a lot of video games with my dad, and he was really into Oddworld. He loved the character and the art, like the
creature design, right?
Yeah, creature design and all the animation in the video game, which was mind-blowing for video games, like in the late 90s. And I remember playing this game with my dad because it was so funny and had a black humor, and you killed all these aliens. And I mean, when you're 6, that's the most funny thing on the planet.
Right.
But then, like 20 years later or something, playing a full remake of the game you played with your dad was just a journey back to my childhood. And so this is a very special game for me. And that the guys at Oddworld said, let's do this with someone from Cologne who hasn't released anything before. It's just crazy. But I'm so thankful they did this with me. And we met a lot of times, like every Gamescom, every GDC, I meet these guys, and they're amazing. And I'm excited for their upcoming game, Oddworld Soulstorm.
Yeah. And do they know the story by now? Like, do they know that like you've been just like a young teen, like sitting around in university, writing them an email just for fun, and then do they know now?
They know it. I told them this story a couple of times every time I meet them because I'm so nervous and I need a good way to start a conversation.
Right.
They're just like the guy I'm working with all the time. He became a friend of mine, and from time to time we are like having a chat, and it's always so amazing to see him at conventions and grab a drink after the convention.
Yeah, it was also great, because the Oddworld soundtrack was like one of the really it sold really well, and you managed to recuperate quite a lot of money and to finance other projects, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I had an I had an emo DIY record label before I did a Black Screen, which was a big flop because I just released 2 records of emo bands from the United States that I know because I was very active in all these emo forums, MySpace and stuff.
Yeah.
So they were never really big in Germany or Europe at all, and they never toured over here. And I produced like 1,000 records and sold 2, and the rest is somewhere in my parents' cellar. So yeah, it could have turned out completely different, like Black Screen. It could have been another flop, but it wasn't.
Yeah, and also you've done a very cool YouTube show before doing Black Screen Records, right?
Oh, yeah. I did a YouTube channel called Backstage Broadcast. I think that's the channel you mean, right?
Yes, correct. And, let's do a quick impromptu Backstage Broadcast, which is a show where you pick a vinyl or you interviewed rock bands or punk bands or like bands in general, and you ask them about their favorite album, right?
Yeah. I had this idea when I was working at Cargo because they were like connected to a lot of vinyl mail orders, and they asked if we have any ideas to do some content, which is not just selling vinyl, but also like original content. And I had this idea like because I always wanted to meet my favorite rock and emo bands to get my vinyl signed. And I had this idea to meet them and ask them about their favorite vinyl. And we filmed this, and most of the times we brought the actual vinyl with us to the interviews. And sometimes I had to print them in 12-inch format. I hope people never noticed it. So yeah, I met like 100 or 200 bands backstage and talked about their favorite vinyl and their favorite album in general on camera for 2 or 3 years. And I think one of the last interviews we did on camera was with Patrick Stum from Fall Out Boy. Fall Out Boy, like one of my favorite bands. Still, it's like guilty pleasure as a teenager for most people, but I still love them, even if they're doing pop music now. And yeah, we recorded the interview with Patrick Stum, and then I uploaded it, and I decided to quit, like stop this YouTube channel, because that's all I wanted to do was like interviewing Patrick Stum. I did a couple more interviews with him later on for emo fanzines, but it couldn't get any better than this, which is actually a quote from a Fall Out Boy song, I think.
Oh, awesome! Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't have a camera with me, but I mean, let's just pretend that we have a camera right now, and now I'm gonna do an interview on you. So what would be the vinyl of your choice if I would do a backstage broadcast on you?
Okay, so hey, my name is Kevin. I'm playing in a band called Backstage Broadcast, and my favorite album is Crisis by the Canadian post-hardcore band Alexisonfire. So that would be something the bands would say. Yeah, Crisis by Alexisonfire is probably my favorite vinyl and my favorite album in general, because it was actually the first vinyl I've ever bought when I was 18 in Cologne at Underdog Record Store. I still can remember being in that record store and browsing through all the vinyl for the very first time. And I was a huge Alexisonfire fan before that, and I had all the CDs, and I saw them a couple of times. And then I found this vinyl record, and me and my best friend from my hometown, Phil, both found the last 2 copies of this album at Underdog Record Store. And the guy Hoffy, who runs the record store, is also did a label called Defiance Record. And he actually released the Alexisonfire album on vinyl. So it was only like €15 or something. And Phil and I both bought the last 2 copies, and we opened it, and I had a red vinyl and he had a black vinyl. And the red vinyl was like super limited to 150 copies, and his was like an open edition. And I think he was kind of pissed at me back then because I got the super limited stuff and he got the not limited vinyl.
Yeah, really.
And I think it's now worth like 100 or 200 or €300 on eBay. He actually bought a second-hand copy on eBay someday.
Oh, okay.
And sold it again on eBay one day. But yeah, I still have that record, and I think 2 years later or so, I had all their records on vinyl, and some of them back then were super limited and Germany only pressings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I still remember there is a festival, an open air festival called Rheinkultur in Bonn. There was a festival, it's not anymore. And they played on the last festival ever, or second to last festival ever. And we went there and we brought a tote bag with the complete discography on vinyl with us. So we had like all the 7 inches, all the split singles, all the full albums in various variants with us in a tote bag on an open air festival with 50,000 people. And we met, I think it was Dallas Green, the singer, one of the singers, or Wade McNeil, and asked them, hey, we are stupid Germans. We have 2 tote bags full of vinyl covers with us. Could you please take them backstage and get them signed? And he was like, yeah, sure. And then he went off with our tote bags full of vinyl. And it was like at 1 p.m. And the festival ended at like 12 at midnight. Right. Uh-huh. And he was gone. And our vinyl was gone. And it started raining, and it's thunder, everything. It was like the best festival experience you could imagine. Then the band was playing, like Alex on Fire were playing at 9 p.m. or something. And after that set, I saw Dallas Green wearing a Müllsack.
Garbage bag.
A garbage bag, yeah, to protect from the rain. And I was like, hey, man, I think your bandmates still have our vinyl. He was like, I don't know. Bye. I was like, shit, I think our vinyl is gone. But then we met Wade McNeil. He came back and had 2 tote bags full of fully signed vinyl. Yeah, and now I have also Crisis, their 3rd album, signed on the super limited red vinyl, signed by the full band. And that's my favorite record and my favorite vinyl story.
That's quite a story. Yeah, what to say? Yeah, crazy. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, cool.
What about you? Do you have a favorite vinyl record?
Oh man, you know what? I'm such a bad person because I wanted a vinyl player for so long, and I could never make the time or like dedicate the money now. But I started working a year ago. Yeah. And I told my mom I wanted to get a vinyl player, and she said she wants to gift it to me this year for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
So I'm gonna have a question related to this later on.
Yeah.
But my vinyl, I've actually bought a couple of records from Black Screen Records so far.
Oh.
But let me think. My favorite vinyl, I think like the one I have from Darren Korb, the signed soundtrack of Pyre. I got from you at Gamescom. And also the Snatcher vinyl.
Oh, nice! I think
you're also selling those, but I think I bought them from Shipto. I think, or they called Shipto?
Ship to Shore.
Yeah, right. Ship to Shore. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Always support the label. This is the best thing you can do, or the artist, which is more like rock pop orientated. That you support the artist, but for video game vinyl, always support the original label. But if you can't afford like international shipping, then go to blackscreenrecords.com.
Yeah. You're actually doing like you're doing the God's work, because I can't tell you often enough how many times I've been to the German customs for posters, like anything Mondo related. Oh my god!
Every
I don't want to get into it.
Yeah. To be honest, doing the distro thing was just selfish me, because I don't want it to pay tax, like import tax, and go to the customs office. I just wanted to I can buy all the vinyl like for wholesale price from these labels, and I usually grab a copy of pretty much every single vinyl I buy from other labels for distro, for Black Screen, which is selfish me is pretty happy about this.
I can imagine. But I think the worst part about German customs is that they look at you like you're this like big drug dealer. Like every time I enter there, and then they're like, oh, like you again. Yeah, I've seen you around here.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, it's just a poster for Mondo. Like there's nothing big going on. And there's like, so, and this is you, right, Dorian, right? So please show me your ID.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is me. And like, so what's in there? So it's like, it's just a poster. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like a cocaine poster.
Yeah, right. And they're like, they're looking at you with the faces of like always like, yeah, I'm right behind you. Like
Yeah.
one step in the wrong direction, and we're gonna call security. We're gonna mace you. We're gonna everything.
Yeah,
I'm just
and
like,
let's
just
be honest,
give me my stuff.
these customs offices are always like located at the end of the world.
Oh my god, yeah.
So even in Cologne, Cologne is not that big of a city. I mean, we have over 1 million people living here, I think. But it's still fairly small. But you have to drive like hours to get to the customs office, which is still in Cologne, but it's at the end of the world.
It's terrible.
Yeah. So yeah, people can avoid this now. Like video game vinyl, people can avoid this now. Most of them.
Right. Yeah, go to Black Screen Records and purchase your favorite vinyl. But speaking of Black Screen Records, I always wondered, like, why is it called Black Screen Records?
I don't know. I mean, I'm very bad at naming things, but it was like I came up with a story, but I came up with this story like 3 years after I named it Black Screen Records. It's like when you play video games on a TV or a computer screen, and imagine it's black, but you can still hear the music and sound effects from your speakers. You can still experience part of the game with a black screen, and maybe that's what black screen means, but it's so stupid. Can we cut that out? Yeah, that's.
I actually like this story.
Okay.
But I mean, to be honest, it sounds too good. Like it sounds like, you know what? Like it sounds like you said, it was made after the fact.
Yeah.
But I like it. It's a good story.
Yeah, I mean,
I would believe it.
and it makes totally sense, right?
Yeah, right. Totally.
Yeah. But there's no other meaning or special meaning behind Black. I couldn't name this label like Controller or Controller Records or I don't know. I can't even come up with a stupid name right now. So Black Screen it is, and
avoid customs records.
Avoid customs distribution.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know what? Maybe if you do a rebranding, you can just call me, and then we can sit together and we can just do some brainstorming.
We'll do. Sounds so good.
Yeah. So let's speak about running a record label. So what does your day look like?
Phew. I'm a long sleeper. Do you say long sleeper? I don't wake up before.
Yeah, you sleep in.
Yeah. I don't wake up before 10 a.m. 9 a.m. I don't know.
Okay,
then I cycle to the office, which is I live in Cologne, so it's like 50 minutes away from my.
Wait, 15 or 50?
15.
Okay, that's good. That's
and then I usually drink a coffee, and I'm always the last person in the office. Mm-hmm. Now that there's COVID-19 and stuff, most of the times I'm alone, or people are coming, like working from home, or come to the office when they want. So, like, let's just imagine it's not COVID.
Right.
There is no COVID. I'm asking all my colleagues. We are now, I hired like 4 new employees this summer, which is also crazy to have like 6 or 7 people now working at Black Screen. Mm-hmm. This was actually the moment my grandparents realized I'm running a real business, to tell them, hey, I have people working for me and I pay their bills. No, I'm not paying their bills, but I pay them money every month.
Yeah.
Then I'm talking to them about what they're currently doing and what their plan for the day or the week is. And then I go to my office and check all the emails that came in overnight, which are actually more than emails that I received during the day, because most of my business partners are based in the US or not in Europe. And then I'm writing a lot of emails, and I love and hate writing emails because I'm not very good at sending off an email. I'm not always happy about what I write. So most of my emails end in the draft folder, and then I drive home, and most of the time when I'm home, I'm opening my MacBook again and I'm sending all those emails from my draft folder. And then, I'm usually working until like 10 p.m. But I'm not working like full time from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. So I have breaks, and I try to do all the European stuff around midday, like till 2, 3 p.m. And then most of the Germans don't even answer emails after 3 p.m. anymore, let's be honest here. But then I get the first emails from the US at around like 4 or 5 p.m. So I have a couple of US emails then, and yeah, I mostly do the label manager stuff, like working on new projects and talking to the composers or developers, or with the pressing plant, or my distributors, or but I'm also like adding new items to the store. I still do most of the purchasing and dealing with other labels. Then I have now a real fulfillment team. We have a customer service doing answering emails. I have a very good friend of mine who is working like part-time remote and doing all the IT stuff, and he's now like trying to not rebranding, like we will probably have a new store next year, and he's doing all this stuff. We now have a notify me feature on our website, so if something is sold out, people can get an email if it's back in stock, which is crazy that it took 5 years to add this feature to our store. But I'm not good at like doing e-commerce, but that's what we do. Yeah, I'm more like the creative kind of person. So there's a lot of stuff happening every single day, and sometimes I also have to work like on weekends, but that's okay. I mean, I'm self-employed. In Germany we say selbstständig, selbst und ständig.
Yeah, that's right.
Like on my own and like all the time. But yeah, I don't want to complain. I love my job. It's the best job I ever had. Sorry, Benny at Fleet Union. I also love the PR job. But now working in music and the game industry, and are able to talk to my favorite developers or composers
and podcast hosts.
And yeah, absolutely. is something that I've never dreamed of 5 years ago. And I'm actually, still, it's crazy. It's crazy that I'm still doing this, and that I have like 5, 6, 7 people working with me on these super cool projects. I'm proud of what they do for me and the label. It's crazy.
And was there ever like a time in your life where you thought, this is kind of insane, like this is kind of like, if this goes wrong, I'm really screwed. Like, this is kind of stupid what I'm doing, but screw it, I'm just doing it anyway. I want to do it.
I think this every single day when I wake up and I'm too late at work. I think I'm not, why is this happening? And what did I do wrong? Why am I here right now? No, just joking. Being at Gamescom and having a booth at Gamescom 2 years ago was just insane. I was there couple of times before as a consumer.
Yeah, visitor, right?
I never played any games at Gamescom because you have to wait like 6 hours to play 30 minutes of Final Fantasy VII Remake or FIFA 2021 for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But then planning a booth and buying all the vinyl for the booth, setting up, we built our own shelves, like record shelves for Gamescom with my dad in my granddad's garage. So totally insane. Then we rented cars to get the records from our warehouse to Köln Messe, the convention center, which is actually only 15 minutes away. So
that's good.
Yeah. Then building up the booth a week before, bringing all the vinyl there. We got an endorsementship from Rega, who supported us with like a free record player and speakers and everything. Then building up the booth and waiting for the first day of the convention. And then there are like 350,000 people at Gamescom every year or something like this, like 500,000 round number, like with million people in the city.
Right.
Being there, having a booth, selling vinyl, seeing all those people. The first time we've been at Gamescom was 2 years ago, and it was for our third birthday. And we saw the people who are buying our records for the very first time. And we talked to them, and they were so passionate about game music and vinyl, and you saw all the new customers who are like, what's this? Is this a poster, or what can I do with this? And I'm like, yeah, it's a vinyl record. You can like listen to music with that. And they're like, no shit, you're kidding me. Like, no. I mean, there are also people like at the age of 13 or younger or older, I don't know, like teens, like me back then.
Right.
And they're like, is this a CD? And I'm like, yeah, it's similar. Yeah, kind of. And yeah, then there are also like people, yeah, I already bought this and that record on this and that label. And I did a Discogs entry for it. And you are pressing at Optimal Meteor. And I like the cover of this record. I'm like, yeah, wow. I didn't know that people are so passionate about game soundtracks or about our releases or other labels' releases. And yeah, it's always like the best time of the year. I mean, you can't say this, but 2020 has been an incredible and super positive year for me as a person and for the label, but it was a shit year.
Of course, yeah.
But the thing that made me really sad was that we couldn't be at Gamescom again, because it's like a
meet and greet, right? Like with your fans and the people who care about the topic.
Yeah, you can actually talk to hundreds of people about game soundtracks, and that's what I love to do, and that's what I did before Black Screen. Like I'm also very passionate about non-game music, like I said, like rock, emo, indie, whatever. And I talk a lot about bands with my friends, and we go to a lot of shows usually. And this is like my second hobby, like video games, and talk to people about games at Gamescom is like best thing you can imagine as a fanboy. So yeah, this is always pretty crazy, intense, and amazing being there with my team.
Yeah. Any opinions on the smell? Because this is something that has been like, it's the first season of You, Me and Industry, and this has been a topic we have discussed a couple of times, because there has been like I think everybody hates the smell. I think it's kind of okay, but I'm never in the commercial area for a long time usually when I go there.
So you have to know that Gamescom is in Cologne, and the summers in Germany aren't super hot usually.
Yeah.
But every year at Gamescom week, it's like 30 plus, like 40 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure, I don't know what's it in Fahrenheit, but it's super hot. It's super hot.
Screw Fahrenheit.
Yeah. And being at a room without windows, like 10 hours in summer is not cool.
Right.
And having like 100,000 of people in a convention center in summer without windows is not cool.
Right.
But it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad, but it's not that bad.
Right.
But there are like outside areas where you can go and take a big breath and take some fresh air. But it's not that bad. I mean, people are always like, yeah, gamers smell and gamers look like this. And I'm like, yeah, gamer. So yeah, it's warm, but you can...
It's manageable, right?
Yeah, it's manageable. Totally.
Okay. So... Yeah, and speaking of vinyl releases, so like, what are the finer details that people don't think about when buying a vinyl, but they get a lot of attention from you? Like, for example, like the color or the slipcase, or like the quality of the material.
Oh, that's a good question. Maybe I talk more to people at Gamescom, but I don't know. I still believe in 180 gram vinyl, for example. I'm not sure why I'm still doing this, because it's like the heavyweight vinyl. Because most of the times I can't hear a difference when listening to a 140 or 180 gram vinyl. But we're still doing this, and it's actually quite expensive, and you would save so much money if you just go for the 140 gram vinyl. And I hope some people appreciate it. Yeah, right. Then we're always going with like the poly-lined inner sleeves instead of like just paper inner sleeves, or for sound reason. But I don't know. I think still the majority of people buying video game vinyl are not consuming it as a music album that you can listen to, more like a piece of merchandise that looks cool. and you can put it in a frame and put it on a wall, or you just put it on a shelf and it looks cool. But I don't know. Maybe the polyline inner sleeves. They're also more expensive than the paper thin sleeves, but nobody ever sent me an email saying thanks for doing this. But you can now it's your time. mail@blackscreenrecords.com. Please email me with saying thanks for doing the polyline inner sleeves.
Yeah, and speaking of differences, I recently came across there's this difference between rotations per minute, right? Like 33 rotations versus 45 rotations per minute. And I have no idea, because since I've never used a vinyl, like I've never listened to a vinyl, and I've never actually put one on a record player. So I have no idea what this means.
Yeah. Okay, so there are like two speeds, 33 and 45, and now I have to explain this in English. Okay, let's go. 33 is the default speed for, I would say, like 12-inch vinyl, because you can fit from like 12 to 22 minutes on a side if the vinyl runs at 33 rounds per minute. If you do like the 7-inch singles, the small vinyl, I'm sounding very stupid right now. The small vinyl, these are usually 45 minutes because you can put up to like 2 songs on it, like 5 minutes. And now comes the quality thing. If you press a vinyl on like a 12-inch vinyl, like the big one, with 45, you have, because it spins faster, you have less space on the vinyl.
Right.
People say it sounds better in 45 because the needle touches more vinyl.
Yeah, more surface area, right?
So yeah. When it's spinning like 45, I think it's too hard to explain.
It is difficult, yeah. But I can imagine, because like it's spinning faster, it has more area to grab the music from and to create the music.
Oh yeah.
And therefore it's also less space on it because it spins quicker, so it will run out of space quicker.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think that's correct.
I mean, you helped me quite a lot. You know, they see, like, I'm just like rephrasing it, but I wouldn't understand the concept if you wouldn't have just told me. So thank you for that.
At least that's what I wanted to say. I'm not sure if this is the truth, but that's what was in my mind about it.
I mean, the truth is what we make of it, because like your label is named after the phenomenon of a black screen and the sound still playing. So I mean.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So I have 2 questions related to vinyl again, and it's why do you think vinyl is generally celebrating this resurgence in popularity?
I think everyone has a different reason why they are buying vinyl. I think maybe it's because of everything is going digital these days, and buying physical media is. I can only talk for me. It cheers me up to buy physical media, because I have to, like, if I order online, I wait a week or half a year depending on where I buy, and then I have a physical product that I can touch and I can feel and I can open it. And for vinyl, you have like liner notes or booklet and artwork, a poster, and there are people like investing a lot of time and money in these products and to make it look incredible. And it's you can look, touch, feel it. Then you can, I mean, listening to a vinyl always takes time, and people don't have time these days. At least that's what everyone says.
Right.
And taking like 40 minutes to listen to a double vinyl and just being in your room listening to vinyl, then after like 20 minutes you have spin the record to side B, and takes another 20 minutes, then you have to put on the second disc. It just takes time, and I think that's super cool. And I mean, one day maybe there won't be Apple Music and there won't be Spotify anymore. But I still have the vinyl I bought like from 10 years ago. Or, I mean, there are people that started buying vinyl like 30 years ago, and they still have their Rolling Stone and Beatles and whatever records at home. And even if Apple Music isn't anymore in the future, they still have the music. Or with games, like buying physical games.
Yeah.
I usually don't buy digital games. Maybe sometimes I buy like an indie game when it's not available in physical format, or I just want to play it now. But there's like the Wii shop, like the Nintendo Wii shop, isn't selling games digital anymore. Or if you delete your console, you don't have the games that you paid for. I mean, I bought Super Mario World like 10 times on various consoles and handhelds. But I also have like the cartridge, is it PAL or is it NTSC?
Yeah, I think it's PAL. It's PAL for Super Nintendo for Europe.
Yeah, I still have this cartridge, but I also like, okay, now it's free in the Nintendo subscription, but you know what I wanted to say. You own the stuff you buy physical, and with vinyl is you take the time to listen to it and experience the whole artwork and music, and I think that's what people drove back to buying vinyl.
And you famously don't want to invest in marketing, like any money in marketing.
Yeah.
So so the first, it's a two-parter question. So let's just say, how is it going without the marketing? I
mean, it's going pretty good because I'm still doing black screen, and we had we had the best year, 2020, without any marketing. The reason is why I never really did marketing before is that I just don't have the knowledge and I didn't have the time. And when I started black screen, I didn't even have the money to hire marketing people because they're usually quite expensive. So people say. That's why everything I did was just social media posts, and I hate doing social media posts. But I mean, that's the only marketing, like the only organic reach thing we do. I actually we hired someone for doing marketing in the future, and we'll do more of this next year. But I never had to do it because I think the niche target group, so now I'm speaking in like marketing terms, the target group is so niche that they are like small communities, and they are doing all the marketing for every game soundtrack label. So, but I think there are also still, I mean, from being at Gamescom, I know there are still a lot of people that don't know about video game vinyl, and they don't know that this is a thing, and there are like thousands of releases so far already available. And I think it makes sense to try to reach these people in the future. But for now, I never had to do it, and I think I don't know. Maybe I don't have to do it, but that's the plan for next year. Doing a bit of marketing.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, we did a thing this summer when we released announced the Sounds of Summer free vinyl compilation. This is marketing. It was a free vinyl, and we reached people that have never heard of us before, I think. And that's the only real marketing thing I did in 5 years, which is also good because I didn't spend any money, right?
That's great, yeah. Yeah, and the second part of the question is, so let's just say we're a very successful free podcast. So how about then? Would you invest in marketing?
Absolutely. I don't know. I'm like I said, I worked in music PR before, and there was a shift like 5 years ago where you only got reviews or interviews in like print magazines or even online media where you have to pay to get interviewed. And this really fucked me up because, I mean, I don't wanted to spend money so somebody reviews an album, because then you are not neutral. You have an opinion, you have to write about it, and maybe it's more positive. And
biased.
Yeah, biased. Yeah. So there was a huge, at least in Germany, there was a huge thing. So we got like, no, we do not interview your band because you are not willing to spend any money on advertising, like on a print advert. And let's be honest, you don't reach any new customers with a print advert because people are online all the time. They can listen to all the music on Spotify, and I mean, they don't even have to read reviews anymore.
That's true, yeah.
So why do you want me to spend like thousands of euro for a print advert? That's just stupid. I mean, it's different with social media marketing. I'm still using Facebook because of Black Screen Records, and I hate it. Like every time I log in, I want to die immediately. But I get all the adverts, and they are pretty good. Like every advert knows what I want, and most of the time I'm clicking on it and I'm buying stuff. If it's a new record, or if it's a new game, or if it's a new, I don't know, couch or something, it works. So that's actually pretty good. But like I said, I never had time, like, and the knowledge in doing marketing or the money doing marketing.
Right.
But we are exploring our options at the moment, and you can expect a lot of adverts from Black Screen Records on a YouTube channel near you next year.
Incredible. Awesome, yeah. And you already teased this a little bit, but do you have anything do you have any cool memorabilia from every project you've done so far? Like a signed vinyl of every artist you collaborated with?
A couple of signed vinyl. Not everyone. I have all the test pressings, except for a few Oddworld new and tasty test pressings that we sold on our first anniversary, I think. I have all the work in progress artwork files, which I think this is pretty cool. Maybe one day we can do like a book and release all the work in progress artwork for some of our releases. Cool, huh? But no, I don't think I have any cool stuff. I only have the stuff that other people have as well. But I have a pretty complete Black Screen Records vinyl collection, except for I think I don't have the Oddworld Stranger's Wrath limited run games variant anymore. So if everyone still has that and is willing to send me a copy. No, just joking.
Wait, this is an ad. Yeah. Time to end the podcast.
But I no cool stuff. Don't have cool stories. But okay. I mean, no, it's not cool. I don't have cool stuff. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get like free Steam keys.
Okay.
That's cool, but that's not special. I think I once got a collector's edition of a game where we did the soundtrack. That was also pretty cool. Oh, I have actually a few test pressings of releases that didn't happen for various reasons.
Oh, really?
There are soundtracks, like there are test pressings for soundtracks on vinyl that they are probably not going to happen anytime soon.
Oh, that's kind of cool. A bit sad for the people, but still cool for you,
Absolutely,
I guess.
Yeah. And it was such a great soundtrack. But maybe one day.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, great. And speaking of test pressing, so let's just say you get the first test pressing back from the manufacturer. So what are you are you checking? Like, are you checking the thickness? Are you like licking it? Like, are you listening to the music only, or what are you doing exactly?
Most of the times I'm listening to them hundreds of times. First, because I have to approve them and I have to check the sound quality. And second, because I just all the time I love the soundtracks we release on vinyl. And as a vinyl collector, and I listen to vinyl a lot, and even more since COVID-19, because I'm at home like all the time. Yeah, it's I have to approve the sound quality. I have to listen to the vinyl on my record player most of the times with headphones, sitting there like 40 minutes, listening to all signs, listening to various copies. We usually get 5 copies, and the composers get a few, and the composer get one, and the developer get a few, and I have most of the times like 2 copies, and I'm listening to both of them and checking. I mean, they're all 140 gram anyway, the test pressings, and only the finished product are on 180 gram.
Okay.
So they're thinner. Yeah, and then I can't even check if there are like scratches on the vinyl, because when they start the full production, there are probably new scratches on it because it happens while producing.
Of course.
And yeah, then I'm waiting on a response, on feedback from the composer or developers saying this is approved or this sounds so bad we can't release this. Never happened, but maybe one day. And if there is, sometimes there are like clicks on the vinyl, like and then you I talk to the pressing plant and ask how did this happen, and most of the time they can get rid of the clicks before they start with the finished products.
Okay.
But sometimes you have to do a new cut and get new test pressings. But in our new COVID-19 times, it takes 13 weeks to produce a test pressing, and then another 13 weeks to produce a finished vinyl. So you can wait half a year at the moment for a new vinyl, which is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, really crazy.
But what can you do? It's crazy times. So you think twice if you want to approve or disapprove. I think all our test pressings sounded really great, and we never had to do a new cut and do a new test pressing. So
knock on wood.
That's what I do with the test pressing, and then I store them in our warehouse, and they are there forever in our archive.
Great, yeah, awesome. And I have a couple of questions more. So, what is your favorite soundtrack on a game you worked on with Black Screen Records? And
what's your favorite child?
Yeah, I know these questions suck, but but I'm gonna make like a duality one, like one you never worked on, which is your favorite, but one is like your favorite which you worked on. So it's like it balances each out.
Okay. So I think my favorite. I have to. Give me a second. I have to look up all the vinyl I've worked on.
No problem.
I would say my favorite Black Screen release is... Can I pick a few?
Of course.
Okay. One of my favorite releases is the Dear Esther soundtrack. We did with Jessica Curry and the Chinese Room, because it was one of the first releases where the artist approached me doing this like still part-time as a passion project, and never thought I would do this for 5 years, and asking if we want to put out her music on a vinyl, which was absolutely insane. And I'm so proud of this release because I wanted to do it just right, because man, Jessica Curry emailed me asking if I want to put out her Dear Esther soundtrack, which I loved even before Black Screen, on vinyl. And yeah, I think it just turned out great, and I think we did 3 or 4 different pressings, and yeah, I'm very proud of this release. Then it's always a pleasure working with Chris Odulu, the composer of Risk of Rain 1 and 2 and Deadbolt, because he is also very passionate about what he does. And he's probably the composer I talk to on Skype most. And it's always super fun to talk to him. And then there is Valhalla, which was one of the biggest surprise releases. It's actually one of our best-selling soundtracks. It's such an incredible soundtrack. It's probably one of my favorite soundtracks, even if I haven't worked on it. And I love the game, and this game means so much to me. And we did this very cool complete sound collection 3 CD set, and Erica Aura Hack on Twitter did the artwork, and it was so amazing to work with Erica on the CD and on the artwork, and it turned out so amazing. I would still love to have like a poster or print of the artwork. And then I don't know. There's so many. It's so hard.
I think that's a good answer. I think there's like 3 is a good number.
Okay.
And what about your favorite soundtrack, like which you haven't had any involvement at all?
That's awesome. I mean, it's probably a Nintendo soundtrack.
Okay.
Probably Super Mario World, which is
Okay, yeah.
one of my favorite soundtracks. I still every time I'm talking about game soundtracks with my mom, it's just her humming like the Super Mario World soundtrack, and she loves it, and that's why I love it, because she has a good taste in pretty much everything.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I think only very few questions left, and so this is something I'm really interested in. So you've did a few interviews in your life. So
Yeah.
at one point you got paid for it, so I guess that makes you an official expert.
I'm not an expert in anything, but
And also, you enjoy to spend 8 hours in the office watching bad video interviews of bands, right?
yeah.
So the question now is, how was this interview, and am I going to be included in the compilation of bad video or of bad interviews?
I wouldn't say that this was a bad interview at all. I really enjoyed speaking to you, and I'm usually not giving a lot of interviews, which sounds like there is a lot of demand to talk to me, but there isn't. But I sometimes get a few requests and people asking me if I wanted to talk to them, but most of the time I'm just too shy. I was also never good at. I once met Frankie Yarrow, who's a guitar player at My Chemical Romance, and which is also another of my favorite band. And I couldn't say a word because I was so nervous. I hated speaking at class, like doing a talk about something. I'm not good at it, so I'm the wrongest person to ask if an interview was good or bad. But this was pretty good, and I'm probably not good at giving interviews.
I mean, this is your opinion, but I think it went really, really well. And before we end the episode, where can people find you? What do you want to plug? Is there anything on the horizon which you're going to release very soon on Black Screen Records?
Yeah. When is this coming out again?
In 4 days, actually.
December 1st, right?
Yeah, December 1st, right.
Okay. There's one final vinyl release that we just announced the other day. It's called Slice of Life, Songs from Wholesome Games, and it is a collaboration between Wholesome Games, the website and Twitter account, and the communities defining games like Ooplets or A Short Hike or Spiritfarer or Watam, like very wholesome games. It's a single vinyl with 21 songs from the community, like from the games defining community, and it's a charity vinyl compilation where we donate all the profits to Galaxy Fund. Galaxy Fund is a first of its kind fund for women and queer founders of game development studios, and it's super amazing fun, and it's going to be super amazing vinyl. And we have the Yeti, and we have Ship to Shore, and we have Fangamer teaming up with us on helping with a distro in the US. And I just had to approve the test pressings the other day, and it sounds amazing, and it has beautiful artwork. And if you are into indie games and indie game soundtracks, and if you want to support a super important and good cause, pre-order this vinyl and help us to sell as many of these beautiful records as possible. That's what I wanted to say. And you find all the info about this vinyl release and all our other vinyl releases on blackscreenrecords.com. You can follow us on Twitter if you are into like bubble tea pics and Star Wars nerd talk. You can follow me on Twitter as well, Kevin Schulz with 3Z, but please don't do this. It's embarrassing. I'm
gonna add you to I'm gonna add it in the show notes. Don't worry about it.
Okay. And then just please continue supporting the game soundtrack vinyl scene. It's an incredible scene. There are so many passionate people, and I'm not very active in all the Facebook groups and Discord channels, but I read all the stuff the community is saying, and it's incredible how passionate a community can be. Please support all other game soundtrack labels. There are many in the US, there are a few in Europe, there are some in other parts of the world, and they're all doing incredible stuff. And I know this because I get most of them for distro, so I'm listening to pretty much everything other labels release, and they're all incredible. And that's it.
That's awesome. Yeah, what a cool project. Yeah, it sounds really awesome. And shout out to A Short Hike. I love that game.
It's so cool.
One of 2019's finest Switch games. It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we already. Oh, I have to insert one question again, because this is now we have to make it full circle.
Mm-hmm.
Because this year in I think February or March I started with this whole show.
Yeah.
And my first guest was a video game composer, El Huervo. And he was a big hater of pineapple on pizza because he's the character of Beard in Hotline Miami. So he was always selling the pizzas. So I asked him the question about pineapple on pizza. So now you are a record label founder, and I think you're a big fan of pineapple on pizza.
Yeah,
is that correct?
Why do you know this stuff? I mean, it's the best kind of pizza. Like having pineapple on pizza is just so good. It's my favorite pizza, and it's where pineapple belongs. Pizza.
Awesome. Yeah.
Stop.
Awesome. I think this is the perfect way of ending this episode, but there is one more thing I'm going to
pineapple
ask you.
On vinyl, no.
Close.
Yeah.
But no cigar. That's a David Lynch quote. But what I wanted to ask you is, we already touched upon this with my upcoming Christmas present. It's going to come, the vinyl player, the record player is coming.
Oh, yeah.
So, let's just hit me up. What is the thing I need to get? Like, is it only the player? Do I need something else? Is there also headphones I need to get? Or slip mats? What vinyl should I get from you?
I think you have to talk to my dad. He's really into all the technical side of playing records. He actually bought my record player one day, and he bought my speakers, and he didn't buy it for me. He told me what to buy.
Okay, so what did he tell you then?
He was like, "Oh, you're not making a lot of money with your job." So no, he was like, you have to, if you have a super expensive record player, you also have to have good speakers and a good amp. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, the sound quality won't be transferred from the good record player to your amp to your speakers. Then you can buy like needle systems that are better than others. You can buy like gold cables, and you can spend like thousands of euros on a good amp and good speakers. But just buy the stuff that you have the money for and that you're happy with. You don't have to you don't need the most expensive anything to enjoy music on vinyl. Maybe don't buy the €50 USB record player from Mattel. It's probably not that good. But other than that, feel free to ever buy what is in your budget, and then you are probably good to go. But I can also give you my dad's WhatsApp, and then you can have a chat with him. He loves doing this. Last week I asked for a good Bluetooth speaker for the office, actually for the fulfillment team. He was looking on the internet for like hours and days, and then he got back to me and said, I read all the tests. You have to buy this. It's expensive, but it's the best for the money you want to spend.
I see.
And it's actually pretty good. It's a very good Bluetooth speaker. I can only recommend it, but I won't say the name because of advertising sponsored post reasons.
Okay, yeah. All right, then, I'm going to update everyone listening what I got, and I'm going to post it probably on Christmas. Let's hope we can all celebrate Christmas, at least in a short, with a small group of family members. And I'm hopefully going to post a picture of my vinyl setup, listening to the great releases by Black Screen Records and by Kevin Schulz. And that's it for this year's season. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Glad you're all with me, and you can follow me at DORIANCHOU, that's Dorian Chow, or you can follow the show at Yumi Industry on Twitter and Instagram, where I post random stuff and I guess make some funny pictures from time to time. I don't know. I hope you all stay safe. Thanks for supporting the show, and talk to you in the next year, I guess. Bye.
Bye.